Another week. It's been a busy one. Like, I'm working and it feels very different to have more work. It's still very odd, still shifting into not having a constant income and things are a little bit more delayed. But I'm getting there. There is adjustment going on. It's different and it is exciting. It is weird because I don't know. I just don't know what it's going to be like. You don't have any kind of idea about what it's going to be like in 6 months' time, or even like in a couple of months' time. Like, I envision this, but what if that? And it's no big deal. It's exciting. But I wanted to talk today about something in particular that I built in when I knew I was going to be doing this move. This was because I didn't really know what was going to happen. I didn't realise I was going to go so much into the supply teaching element, which I'm really grateful for, to be fair. But at the time, I figured that I was going to have a lot more time on my hands. I knew that I was going to be less busy with all the other things that come with teaching normally, which is planning, marking and so on. And I knew that I was going to have more time on my hands. So I did a few things to counter that. I previously mentioned the fact that I've scheduled time with friends into the weeks that I've got built-in social points. And I also, as a result too, have realised that I need even more than that, particularly on the weeks where there isn't work per se. And even if there is work, sometimes I don't get time to chat to other staff members. You know, it is often the pupils, which is fine. But I also need to then add in flexi people to that kind of social schedule as well. But one of the things that I put in place that didn't rely on really anyone else was joining the gym. Now, I was one of these people that was very much like, why would you spend any money on the gym ever, unless you're real like gym bod? Because you can do Joe Wicks workouts for free on your TV or on your phone. And I've done that for years. I first started getting into fitness, I would say 2017, roughly. 2017, 2018. Sometime around then, I had a bit of a kickstart with lots of different areas of my life, like taking a little bit more care of myself, she says, without any makeup on today. The hair could probably do with brushing, but oh well. You know, taking a little bit more care of myself, looking at what I put in my body. And, you know, some of those things have stalled, they've stopped started, and you can't do everything all the time. It has to be little bits chipped away at here and there. But fitness and getting into that was one thing I did quite a lot. And it was when I used to live over more Thurrock way. We, as in my ex and I at the time, were doing boot camp. Though sometimes I went on my own because of schedules, but we often went to the Saturday morning one together. And then I would do a Monday or Wednesday weekday. It was literally on the back field to us, so we could walk out 2 minutes before and go there. It was fantastic in that sense. So that was the kind of start of the journey. So we were paying for that. But at some point I did another kickstart when that didn't work anymore, or I wasn't feeling as motivated to do that. I wanted to do it at the times I wanted, whereas sometimes in the evening I wanted to get in and be done. I found that I was very, very productive in the morning. I really liked doing workouts or running in the morning. We'd started to try and run a little bit. But yeah, I started to look at Joe Wicks back then. I used to get up at 5:30 and do a 30-minute workout and then get ready for work at 6, something along those lines anyway. And I was like, why would you ever pay for the gym? Because it's all free. I never paid, other than paying for that boot camp every now and then stopped and found the free version. I was like, oh, well, this is it. And I used to mix it up. Majority was Joe Wicks and all his different videos because there's so many on there, but I'd always find ones that I liked. That went on for a good amount of time. It went on for a number of years into the lockdown. I was blessed in that sense because within that time, obviously then split from my ex, and having the routine and the consistency of what was Joe Wicks in the morning and then became meditation and journaling as well was a godsend for going through that period. Then going through lockdown where people felt all up in the air, I still had that structure there. And at the time, work in the school was really valuable. It's dwindled a little bit over time. I fell out of love with Joe Wicks. I didn't do the stuff for Joe Wicks in the lockdown specifically. I did a couple, but it didn't quite work with my schedule and things like that. So I was still getting up to do earlier ones here and there. But at some point, everything kind of dwindled. There was a lot going on, obviously, pandemic in itself, but we had a lot going on at home too. I don't know what was the thing that stopped me. I still had a couple of runs to do. I had signed up to do a 10k at Colchester Zoo, but that got delayed a number of times. So there was no motivation there because I didn't have that big goal to be working towards. Who knew when it was going to be, if it was ever going to take place. I do have a good relationship with working out and fitness, but it does fluctuate depending on what's going on. And I started to look and think, I think to some degree, I find it hard to fit it in because of work. I mean, that's an excuse because I was doing that before. I was getting up early when I used to be with my ex and doing that then. And we had a dog that also needed walking and looking after. So that was just pure excuses. But there was some element of it. I did feel more tired by the end. Maybe I was just getting older. Maybe there was a difference. And I didn't feel I could always get up any earlier to do exercise so easily. I don't mind stuff in the evening. It's just I have the motivation more in the morning. And it's the same with a lot of things. We're more motivated to do something in the morning because we've got less decision fatigue. It's not so difficult because you haven't used all your energy up on work. So when I knew that I would be giving my job up and not really knowing what 2022 was going to look like, I went, I'm going to join the gym. And it wasn't for fitness. Whilst I do use it for fitness and wanting to fit back into a couple of clothes that I've got downstairs and would like to wear, it was as a kind of mental health jibe to get me out of the house. It was, if I don't have work, and potentially don't have a social occasion, but even if I do, it's going to be the afternoon, evening, then I'm going to be in the house on my own for, near on 22 hours at certain points. If not, there will be periods where it extends over 24 hours. And I have no reason to leave unless I make a reason. And so, yeah, I could have gone into town and go shopping. I can go and do a food shop. But all of that is obviously spending more and more money. And ad hoc, it's not even regular. You're going out and you pop out and, suddenly you've spent 20 quid on food shopping that you didn't think you really needed. The gym, I thought, I think is a good idea because one, it is fitness and I would like to get back into that. It's kind of not half the reason, it's some of the reason why I'm quitting, because I want more time for that kind of thing. I want to be able to take care of my body more so that I can be healthier, less stressed, be more balanced and look after myself more from a nutrition point of view, from a fitness point of view. But it was also to leave the house and to have micro interactions with the people, saying hello. And bless her soul, the person that I had like a taster PT session with as part of the kind of program, whenever I see her now, always says hello. So that's really nice to have within that, and that's part of the gym. And I'm getting used to the different people that are all in all the classes that I regularly go to. Now, when I say regularly, my schedule's not regular. Sometimes I work Monday and Tuesday, sometimes I work Thursday and Friday. There is a class that I have on Tuesdays and Fridays that I love, but work has to some degree, come first at times. And I have to skip them. So the regularity of that changes and sometimes sessions get booked. But I can't describe how powerful going to the gym has been for me. Because initially it was just a lifesaver of like getting me out. And at times it was a drag. It still is a drag sometimes. There are times when I just don't want to go. If anyone saw my stories at the weekend, I think it was Sunday. Oh, it took me hours to get there. I booked a class. I changed my mind. I didn't want to go to that class because it was too much like hard work. I was tired. So already, even in the morning element, I was struggling. That class, I think, was something like 10:30. I didn't get to the gym until 2. I was determined to go because I was like, if I don't go, I've got 2 days of work and I'm going to be bugged that I haven't then gone. And I hadn't gone on Saturday either for some reason. Maybe I wasn't able to book the class. And you don't need the class to be able to go. But I really enjoy the classes. They get me there. There's a specific time most of the time that they get me there. It's a bit harder to go to the gym without a class because I could just go whenever. So yeah, it took a while on Sunday. But having worked these 2 days, I'm really looking forward to going to the gym today. It's an evening one, which is odd, but there's a class I really enjoy. I found that an hour class is sometimes a bit too long for me. I feel like that's a really long commitment. I prefer 30 to 45 minutes, but I do still go to hour-long ones. I just might not do a workout after. So if I do a half an hour one, I'll either go before or after and do my little routine in the gym. And I really enjoy it. I swear, mentally, throughout the whole thing. And sometimes outwardly, but under my breath, obviously. Not shouting it across the class. But sometimes this is a joke. With a few swear words thrown in the middle of that sentence. It is a joke. I hate some moments of it. I sweat like nothing else. It's weird, I don't know why, but literally I do this anyway. A slight increment in temperature and I'm sweating. That's just who I am. Lovely, I'm sure. So when I'm at the gym, that's just happening. But I treat it as yes, it's the gym. I take my sweet time at the gym. I'll do my class, maybe I'll do my workout, then I'll go and I'll have a shower and I'll take my time. Shower, could be a hair wash, get ready, moisturise. Yeah, I really love it. I love making it like an occasion. Apparently there's a sauna there. I haven't used that yet. There's a swimming pool. Haven't used that yet either. And to me, it is worth every single penny, despite having previously been like, why would you ever spend money on something like that? And yeah, it's another expense. I could be doing things for free, but to me it is being around other people for a little bit. What's funny is that depending on the class I go to, and then when I do the workout afterwards in the actual gym, as it were, there's always the same people there each week that obviously do it around their regular schedule, and I'm there based on the schedule of the gym classes. So that's interesting to see, and to start seeing familiar faces. And I didn't think I'd ever be this kind of person, but I loved it at the weekend when I was doing the leg press and I finally did 100 kg. It was the first time I'd ever done it. It was tough, but it was one of those where it's taken, I've done that leg press since, late December. And I use 4 or 5 machines when I'm in there. It's always the same. And I always increase the things, but the leg press I was finding the hardest for some reason to like move through. I don't know really realistically why I started. I think it was 60 that they started me off at. So it's 60, 70, 80. And at some point I did 70, 80, 90. They were the kind of increasing the weight but decreasing the number of reps. But 90 was tough. I always had to take the chair back a bit to start it off. And then at one point I didn't need to do that anymore, which was actually very recent too. And then I went to the 100 for the first time the other day. I hadn't had it realistically with anything else, but there was just this immense sense of achievement with it. I don't care what that means to anyone in terms of that's really low anyway, or oh, that's really high. Like, it's just to me that is progress. And I've got progress on the other machines that I use. I've been up in certain bits, but that one to me, there's that, and there's, I don't know what you call it, but you basically you start there and then you drop yourself down and then lift yourself up with an assist. Who knows? You guys are going to know what that's called. I don't. I'm not that technical. That, I'm still working on getting 3 lots of 6 reps. We're on the last round where we get to 4, maybe the 5th one, and there's nothing I can do to pull myself up. I just have to let go. We're nearly there. That's going to be the same kind of rush, I think, that I'll get when I finally do it. That one's going to obviously be a bit more delayed. Upper body's harder than lower body to train, but I have found something that I really, really enjoy in that sense. It doesn't need external validation. I don't need to tell you guys that to feel that. I feel that in myself, and I feel that achievement. At some point I guess the achievement's going to run out. We're going to have to learn a new machine and build up a different muscle group or something like that, throw something new in. For now there's a lot of work to be done on each machine. I'm not maxing them out, but it is that element of how interesting that something that I would have been like, ugh, I've completely U-turned on and love. I mean, I guess you can build your own at home. I do not have the space for that. And I wouldn't have known what to get. And it's just exciting. I'm sure there are people that like going with other people in pairs. I've seen that at the gym. It's quite clear that that's going on. I wanted to share this week how much the gym has just given me a few different things. A structure, a bit of a routine, or somewhere to go. There's also a cafe there. I haven't eaten there yet, but maybe one day I treat myself. So there's so much option in that, and it's looking after yourself, taking the time and not rushing around and just making it. And that the fact that I miss going to the gym, where I'm like, oh, I haven't gone for 2 days, I must go this evening. There's not a chance I'm not going this evening unless something drastic happens. That's the point at which you want to have with things, especially something that realistically doesn't make me feel good all the time. I hate it. I hate some of the experience of it, but I love it at the same time. And it's delayed gratification. It's horrible to go in the moment. You've got to build it all up, you've got to leave the house, you've got to get there, it's going to be hard work, you're going to be sweating, it's going to be horrible, and all of that isn't all that great. But afterwards, and the over time sense of achievement of, oh, I've finally done something a little bit harder than I was doing before, it's there. And that's that intrinsic motivation. Yep, I am tracking my weight, not to track weight, more to track can I fit into the dress. And to me, there's some level of correlation. Not strictly true though. If my weight stayed the same, but I could get into that dress, I don't care what the numbers say. Realistically, it's the achievement I'm getting from it, and that sense of, I don't know, just like I'm doing it. I'm getting better, and I'm enjoying that as much as it's hard work to go. Sometimes the things that are worth doing, like in the end, are really hard to do in the first instance, but you've got to stick with it. And I'm sure I will fluctuate on this, and I've got to be careful because I'm paying for this now. Can't fluctuate on it. When I stopped Joe Wicks, that was it. It didn't make any difference to my finances. One thing's not going to suit me forever. I don't run as much anymore because I go to the gym. I go on the treadmill every now and then, which is much better for my legs, but I have lost. I used to run 2 times a week at my best, maybe 3 times a week at my very best, 2 times a week at my regular best, and then 1 when it started to phase out. You go through this. Not everything's going to suit you forever. For now, gym's working really well for me. I just wanted to share that. Whatever your choice of fitness and well-being in that sense might be, make time for it if you can, and amongst everything you're doing. And hopefully you get the same kind of sense of achievement as you make progress or win games. I used to play netball at one point as well. Might need to try that at some point. Keep trying different things. Try something new. Even if an idea seems silly to you at one point, give it a go. Give it a shot. I'll speak to you all next week.